Hey everyone, my name is Chloe and today I'm here to give you my October TBR. So in September I did no TBR because August was Deca TBR-a-thon, so my patrons got to pick my entire TBR. So September was pretty much completely mood reading and I loved it. October is going to be a little bit of a different month. So there's 2 readathons that I really want to do, but I am going to be having a baby in October, God willing. I'm due October 22nd, so if I'm still pregnant on Halloween, I'm probably not going to be filming videos because that's going to be a doozy. But I'm going to tell you about the 2 readathons that I want to participate in. One, I'm making an actual TBR. The other, I might do a little more low-key. So let's just get into it. So the first one that I am definitely going to do is the Cozy Cottage Readathon from Chantel Reads All Day. She is just like coziness personified. I think she lives in Canada, and she just is very like soft-spoken and calm and cool, and just this is like the perfect readathon. And in my head, I'm going to be in a cozy cottage in October. So I will have the picture up right now so you can see, but she has both like a physical thing you can do as well as a book that you can pick, and so you can do it however you want, like by doing the physical thing or by reading a book. I went ahead and picked a book for each prompt, pretty much based on the cover, so I'm not 100% sure what this is, like what these synopses are, but I tried to pick a variety of genres and things that the cover matched, so it would just guide my reading. Because this month in September, I made an entire list, a spreadsheet of every book I own, and it's a lot, and it is so motivating for me to take a book off of there. And so these are all off my shelf, all based on the prompts, based on the cover. So let's just get into it. So the first one is Rainy Day. So I'm going to be reading A Life Without Water by Marcy Bolden. So this one is the first in a trilogy. I do own the entire trilogy, so I may be reading the whole thing, but this is about a woman named Carol. She divorced her husband 20 years ago, never looked back, but the day before their daughter's 30th birthday, he barges back in with a request that threatens the fragile stability she has built. He's very sick, and while he still can, he has some amends to make and some promises to fulfill. But to do that, he not only needs his ex-wife's agreement, he needs her. With the past hovering between them like a ghost, they embark on a decades overdue road trip. Together, they plunge back into a life without water, but which may ultimately set them free. So, like I said, I know this is a trilogy. I think it's going to be kind of hard-hitting women's fiction, so I'm really excited about that. Next is Next to a Fireplace. So, of course, with Rainy Day, you can read on a rainy day. We have a rainy weekend this weekend, and it's glorious, and I'm loving it. So I'm hopeful for more in October. And then by a fireplace, next to a fireplace. As soon as it gets cold here, we turn on the fireplace. It is not cold yet. Today's cooler, and I think we're going to hit some cooler weather next week, but again, not what you're here for. I didn't have any books with fireplaces, so I'm going to do Last Light by Terry Blackstock. This is a fire, so it's close. This is the start of a quartet, I think, and it says, "Today, the world as you know it will end. No need to turn off the lights." And this is a dystopian, I think, about like, is it a terrorist attack or something far worse? Your city's in a blackout, communications cut off, hospital equipment won't operate, airplanes are falling from the sky. I don't want to read a whole lot about this, but I'm pretty sure this is the first one. But this is a restoration novel, so I think the Restoration series maybe, and I think this is Christian fiction, dystopian, something like that. So if you've read this, let me know. Next is With a Blanket. So of course, read with a blanket. One of my favorite places to read is either on the couch with sports in the background or in my bed. And this is The Opposite of Me by Sarah Pekkanen. So they are like kind of snuggled up. It might be a towel, but we're calling it a blanket. This is her debut. I don't know if it's her debut like period or if it's her debut like as an individual author, because I know she's written some with Greer Hendricks. So again, if you know, this is blurbed by Allison Wynn Scotch, Beth Harbison, Susan Cole, and this one says Move Over, Anna Maxted, and Sophie Kinsella. So is this funny? I thought this would be, it says fresh and funny and satisfying, a terrific book about sisters that actually made me laugh out loud by Jennifer Weiner. So I don't know actually what this is about. 29-year-old Lindsay Rose has, for as long as she can remember, lived in the shadow of her ravishingly beautiful fraternal twin sister. Determined to get noticed, she is finally on the cusp of being named VP, creative director of an elite New York advertising agency after years of 80-plus hour work weeks, migraines, loneliness, etc., etc. Her life implodes. She flees Manhattan and retreats to the time warp of her parents' Maryland home. So that's all I need to know. Sounds super cute. Not what I thought, because Sarah Pekkanen now writes mostly thrillers. So I kind of assumed this would be a thriller, but a women's fiction is great with me. Then we have, let's see, what's the next thing? Under the Trees. So I don't know really what that means, and I live in Kansas City, and I mean there are places you can go hiking and stuff, so maybe, but this is a prompt. I might not do the physical, but local woman missing. All these trees, I'm guessing she's missing under the trees. Jocelyn Jackson, Riley Sager, and Kimberly McCrate all blurbed this, and it says people don't just disappear without a trace. Shelby is the first to go missing. Not long after Meredith and her 6-year-old daughter Delilah vanish, just blocks from where Shelby was last seen, in striking fear into their once peaceful community. Are these incidents connected? After an elusive search that yields more questions than answers, the case eventually goes cold. Now 11 years later, Delilah shockingly returns. Everyone wants to know what happened to her, but no one is prepared for what they'll find. So, yikes, sounds really interesting. Next is fresh baking. So I love baking. I love the smell of like apples and pumpkins and vanilla and all the baking things. So that'll definitely happen. And we're going to do City Baker's Guide to Country Living. So I also don't have any books, I don't think, that has like food on the cover. But City Baker's Guide to Country Living, this just looks like it will fit the cozy cottage theme. So this, it says Miller's debut is a giant serving of comfort food. Treat yourself. So Olivia is a pastry chef for an exclusive Boston dinner club. She sets the building on fire, and she escapes to the idyllic town of Guthrie, Vermont. But the getaway turns into something more lasting when Margaret Hurley, the cantankerous owner of the Sugar Maple Inn, offers her a job. So she is doing country living. So that sounds super sweet, super cute, very Gilmore Girls-esque maybe. So let's see. I've heard a lot of good things about this. If you've read it, let me know. Then we've got In the Dark. So this is a cover, In the Dark, The Family Next Door by Sally Hepworth. This might be the only Sally Hepworth that I have not read, but it says, when it comes to the truth, from the outside, Essie's life looks idyllic. Lovely, loving husband, beautiful house, nearby mother who dotes on her granddaughter, but few of her friends know her secret shame, that in a moment of maternal despair, she once walked away from her newborn who was asleep in a stroller at a park. Disaster was avoided and Essie got better, but she still is anxious about what could have happened, even as her daughter gets older and she has a second baby. So definitely some postpartum depression there. Then you have to see it to believe it. When a woman named Isabel moves in next door to Essie, she's an immediate object of curiosity in the neighborhood. Why single when everyone else is married with children? Why renting when everyone else owns? What mysterious job does she have? Why is she so fascinated with Essie? The two women grow closer, and Essie's friends voice their disapproval, and it starts to become clear that Isabel's choice of address was no accident, and that her presence threatens to bring shocking secrets to life. So there's that. Then we have On a Hike. So I'm taking some liberties. She is in the woods, maybe, on a hike, a flat hike. A Kansas hike, if you will. Although, like I said, I live in the east side of the state, and there are hills and hiking paths and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, this is a rewarding, emotionally intense novel. So, fast-paced tale of friendship, loss, and redemption. Sometimes life gives a second chance. This is about Mackenzie. She took her eyes off the road for just a moment, but the resulting collision changed her life forever. Now she lives in Vermont under the name Maggie Reed. I know a Maggie Reed, so that's weird. In a small house with her cats and dog, working as a makeup artist at the luxurious local spa. Her one goal is to stay under the radar, but she isn't the only one in this peaceful town with secrets. When a friend's teenage son is thrust in the national spotlight, Maggie is torn between pulling away and protecting herself, or stepping into the glare to be at their side. As the stunning truth behind their case is slowly revealed, Maggie's own carefully constructed story also begins to unravel. She knows all too well that what we need from each other in this difficult world is comfort, but to provide it, someone needs to travel far outside their comfort zone. So, yeah, there's that. And then the last one is drinking tea. I am not a big tea girly. However, I've heard raspberry leaf tea helps to induce labor. And so if we get to the middle of October and I'm still pregnant, I might be drinking some tea. Otherwise, I will be drinking coffee. But this is another start of a series. So why am I doing this to myself? I don't really know. But this is the Inn at Tany Falls. And it's got a teapot on it. This is... Dearest Nell, if you're reading this, you're already gone, or I'm already gone. You're my best friend in the whole world, and my last request I'm asking is you to lay me to rest in my crazy, gorgeous, totally one-of-a-kind hometown. I know you're a born and bred city girl, but hear me out. After losing Adrian and then me, I know your heart's hurting, Nell. I think you'll find what you need in Tany Falls as much as I do. And if you follow my instructions to the letter, you may discover there's more to my story than you think. So, yeah, I think this is going to be another city girl goes to the country, but there are like parts of her letter and stuff in there. I think every chapter starts with some of her letters, so that's going to be really sweet and a good friendship book. So that is my TBR for October generally, because the Cozy Cottage Readathon is a month long, and so I will link Chantel's announcement down below if you want to watch it yourself. As well as like the graphic. But yeah, so I'm going to focus on those, which also allows me to binge the series that I'm going to be reading if I want to. However, I really have some FOMO and really want to participate in Becca from Becca in the Books, her Spookopolathon. So she has made like a Monopoly-esque board that is Spookopolathon. And you roll the dice, it gives you a prompt, you find a book with that prompt, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And she has said like you can make a TBR from it, you can roll 5 or however many books you want and kind of pick them that way, or you can do it roll as you go, whatever you want to do. Now, I am thinking this may be, I don't know, like I want to do that, but it may be a little intense, especially because I know I'll probably be in the hospital for a few days and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not sure. I'm going to prioritize these Cozy Cottage books, and then if I finish them, I am going to do Spookopolathon rolls to pick my next reads, I think. So, yeah, and I also, like, it makes me nervous that I'm not going to have some of the books on my shelf, and so then I'd have to go to the library, which is great. I love going to the library. I fall down rabbit holes at the library, and then I don't read off my shelves, and I really, 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 really want to read off my shelves. I'm at 414 books that I own, and I really want to get that down to 400 by the end of October, so, yes, I want to stay focused, which is why Spookopolathon is going to be my second readathon if I finish everything else. So that's my plans for October. I also will have my book haul revisit at some point and whatever books that brings. And so, yeah, that is everything for October. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.